welcome to another episode of the Lone Recruiter Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Clemenson, and if you're a recruiter out on your own or just lacking general advice or mentorship, you've come to the right place. Our episodes are designed to give you the motivation, the strategies, and the support you need to become the very best Lone Recruiter. So join us, grab a cup of coffee, and let's take your desk to another level. Now, today, at the time of this being aired, it is Monday, and it is 4 weeks until Christmas. Does that scare the shit out of you? It excites the crap out of me. Why? I love this time of year. And if you follow this podcast, you've heard me say it before that November, December are some of the best months I've ever had in my entire 17-year career. And I won't bore you with the reasons specifically around that, but it's just everyone's out for a party, the year's winding down, but also more importantly, there is a hard deadline. There's Christmas is coming. All these strategies for 2023 need to come into play. We need to pull them all together. And a lot of that for companies is recruiting headcount. They might have lost a few people. They're thinking 2024, I need these people in place so that we can really have a great year. There's just so many factors playing into this time of year that I just love recruiting. But the main one is it's that hard stop, right? It's that Christmas deadline. There's a reason we can push. We love pushing as recruiters because we all know time kills deals, but there's something about that hard deadline coming towards everyone that gets us motivated to get it done. Candidates make decisions. They can go off and have a break knowing that they've got a new job. They can really relax over Chrissy. Clients know they've got their team sorted. 2024 is going to be great for us. So the worst thing you can do right now, and I am not letting you do between now and Christmas, is take your foot off the accelerator. You are going to charge. You've got 4 weeks to go. You're going to hammer it. You're going to charge it. I want you to get to Christmas and just go, well done, pat on the back. And you might fall in a heap. I don't want you to. Take some rest if you need to. But I want you to really be proud of what you've done between today and Christmas. Why? Because if you don't feel that way, if you feel like you just start getting too much into the Chrissy parties, get into the eggnog, you're getting into the Christmas spirit early, you're actually just having like a 2-month holiday, and you're gonna waste a massive opportunity to make a large portion of your annual billings now, right? So much money can be made in November, December, and so much money can be left on the table in November, December, and I don't want it to be the latter for you. So if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what does, but this is, in my 17-year career, some of the best recruiting times of the year, and I want to run you through how I approach that, what we're doing right now, so that we can make sense of what's in front of us and that we can really, really smash it. Now, the number one mistake people make at this time of the year is banking on deals happening before Christmas or clients committing to something, making a decision or a process before Christmas, right? We all have that deadline, but do our clients. So the first thing I want you to do is pull together, and this is what we've done, all of the active roles that you have. And hopefully you're on a good desk and you've got a number of roles. You should have at least one. If you're a recruiter, you should have at least one one role you're recruiting for. But if you're in a good market, you should have a lot. And when I say a lot, you've got those active needs. You've also got those ones that you've kind of put to the side. I want them all, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to get all those roles together. I want you to rank them in terms of urgency. Okay, what are the clients that are saying, I need this before Christmas. I want a signature before Christmas. The ones, right? These are the ones that are going to go in the top list. They're the specs that you're going to work on now. They're the ones you're going to put a lot of attention and energy into. They're the ones you're going to talk to your clients about and say, look, funny time of year. It's really busy. I've got you we're making a decision before Christmas. Are you on board bucket? Okay. And then you're going to have a second list of roles, which is these ones are January. So it might be it's a longer process. You might have a long process. That's going to go over the break. It might be a client that, those roles you have that are there, but they're not hounding you for them. If you ever have a senior, I will take 3. If you ever have this, I would take that. Oh, with kind of thinking this. They're those roles that you might sort of punt on or start to push into at any normal time of the year. But I think they're the ones that you go, if I've got enough between now and Chrissy and I'm at capacity, then let's just focus on the ones we know are going to make decisions before Christmas. And then that second list becomes your January, February pipeline. Okay, and so what we're going to do, and just on a side note with those January, February ones, we're going to start advertising just before Christmas, putting our catch nets up, putting our messaging out, putting our LinkedIn messages out, and all sorts of marketing and advertising just before Chrissy for those January, February roles, so that all of that material's working for you whilst you're off partying, having a lovely time with the family, having Chrissy lunch and all that sort of stuff. And then we're going to focus on this first list. Now, within that list, and where this started for me is that I do this every year. For 17 years, I sit down about this time of year and I go, all right, what are we working on? And I've pulled Pete in, I've pulled Marie in our office, and I've said, guys, we have about 400 to 500 grand worth of really decent work here. And I've pulled out ones that I think we've done a dash on, or I don't think it's going to be easy to find those candidates. And we're left with the cream, right? And the cream's probably 300. It's probably about 300 grand worth of absolute cream. So we're setting a target for ourselves that between the three of us, we're going to do 250 between now and Chrissy. It's 4 weeks time, 5 weeks time as of recording. So it's a good target. I think it's a reasonable target. And if we're all doing the right things, all pulling in the right direction, we're allocating the resources effectively, we should be able to do it. So the first thing as well is, have you got anyone in your team? Have you got anyone you can rely on that can help you pull in candidates for the roles that you have? I did record this episode earlier and I forgot to press record on this podcast mic. So apologies if I'm going over things or if I miss things. You won't even know, but it's certainly tough as a podcaster when you do that. I did make a note that, and I don't know if you guys sense this either, but holidays kill deals, right? And that's why we're dividing this list up into two camps, because if you start working on those deals for January, February, we might have long timelines, and yes, we might be able to do that, but I just noticed that whenever someone starts a process, whether it be a client or a candidate, and then they go on a holiday or they go on some leave and have some time to relax, it always just seems to turn to dust, particularly on the candidate side. I think candidates come to us and there's always an inflection point. It's either I need a new career move, or I'm stressed, or I'm tired, or I'm frustrated, or whatever. Something about resting makes them be able to handle their situation better. That's great advice to give candidates. Go and have a break, see how you feel, and then maybe we can go on a journey. But typically if you start a process with the candidate, get them on interview and whatever, and then they go on leave, or you give them an offer and they go on leave, almost guarantee that placement doesn't happen. Don't know what it is. I think it's the rest. I think it's that they've got more, bandwidth and capacity to just kind of digest what's happening and make sense of it all. And I think after rest, people are more happy more happy and willing to tackle problems at work. So that's why we want to throw all those jobs to January, February that aren't going to commit before Chrissy, because we're going to waste our time generating deals, generating candidates who aren't going to accept over Chrissy. And you're just going to be thinking about them over Christmas. You don't want to be thinking about deals over Christmas either. You want to switch the hell off, right? And what better way to do that knowing you've smashed the last 4 weeks of the year, right? So that is the point of today's episode, is really sit down, pull your specs together, stop reacting to your clients, stop reacting to your market, just stop for a moment, pause, make sense of it. What are we working on and what are we closing between now and Christmas? And then what are we parking till January, February? Communicate with your clients. That's the strategy, okay? If you got very good clients sitting in that January, February camp, try and get them hit up on retainer at the end of this, midway through December. Say, look, chuck it on retainer. We've got extra ad budget. We can do more advertising for you than normal. We can have our catch nets up over the break, and we come back to January. We all know what we're working on, and we can fire. I think I did an episode on that recently. That's a great strategy for that camp. But again, this first camp is how do we maximize the next 4 weeks? So this first list that we have, red hot specs, activated clients. You're going to call your clients and go, I've just made sense on my desk. You are on my primary target list. I'm getting you this role done between now and Christmas. Are you on board, Mr. Client? Great. What's your schedule look like for interviewing? First interview, second interview, and offer placement. Have you got HR? When does HR go away? Who's doing the contracts at the end of this process? Do you need to do that now? Do you need to get draft contracts ready to rock and roll? We need to be really tightening up that process and communicating very clearly with our clients what we are expecting of them. And for some reason, again, it's Christmas. There's a understanding from their side. So if you're a weak recruiter when it comes to that sort of communication, or you're a new recruiter and you might feel a bit nervous saying that, use Christmas as your excuse. Hey, Mr. Client, we've only just started working together. Are you aware of what happens over Chrissy? Like we're in the game of closing these out before the Christmas break. We do not want these candidates sitting with offers over the break, but it doesn't happen. All that shit I said before. They'll say, yep, absolutely on board. Great. Couple of checklist items for you. Who's doing the contracts at the end of the process? Are they going to be here? When do they go away? What do you need to get done so that we can have a signature done before Chrissy? What's your schedule look like? Have you got any? When are you going on leave? When can you interview first and second? What are your expectations from me to be able to make that decision in terms of how many candidates and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Right. That's it. Go. Do not take your foot off the accelerator. Do not lean into the Christmas spirit before Christmas is here. It is the worst thing you can do for your billings. It's the worst thing you can do for your ego. It's the worst thing you can do for your motivation and how good you feel over that break. Imagine now, Christmas hits. You have just done 3 times what you normally do in December because of this strategy. This strategy is my North Star. It has been with me for years and years and years. We make a lot of money in November, December with that simple focus on quality. Okay? Do it. Go have some fun. That's all we have time for you today. Have an amazing day. If you haven't liked it, subscribe to this podcast, this YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're viewing this, please give it a little tick, give it a little like. We appreciate it. Helps us grow. We're getting great feedback. We're over 70 episodes this year, right? We're stoked. It's hard work, but we are really, really loving the response. We are loving being able to help you guys out, and we just want to keep bringing you more. So keep liking it, keep sharing it, keep subscribing, comment on this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an amazing day, and may all your deals, particularly in December, come true.